complimented this little guy on his tuxedo, and he said today's big day. It's his adoption day. Earlier this year, a random number I didn't recognize started sending me pictures of toads. European common spadefoot toad. True. My mum's office has a groundhog who regularly comes by for snacks. Today it was someone's birthday. If this cute baby turtle reaches your timeline, everything will be okay. If you ain't trying to match like this with me on vacation, then you're wasting my time. Traveling through some backroads in my college town and came across this. The generosity made my day. Cut yourself some flowers. Enjoy. This is not what we were hoping to attract when we installed nest boxes. I really loved this idea, putting black and white photos of the person they belong to on their gift. Very unique and heartfelt. Khan just learned about this panda that grimaces when she breaks bamboo because she had no panda teachers and noticed humans making that face every time they broke some bamboo for her. The world needs more doggy stick libraries. I need to do another dog meme video. I'm never going to this girl. Hey, if I went to a girl's house and this was her shower, I'd be going there every day. You got so much option. Everybody meet Booker. He was feeling a little under the weather, so we wrapped him up to assist feed. Luckily, he was able to make a full recovery. I interrupted their moment. They're like, we were being romantic. Can you give us some space? In India, a farmer installed a trail camera after noticing his dogs barking at night. The camera revealed a leopard that regularly visited an elderly cow. Upon speaking to the cow's former owner, the farmer learned that the cow had nursed the young leopard with her milk after the leopard's mother passed away. That cow is the safest cow in India. Honestly, pretty rude to interrupt him while he's working. Yeah, he was working in your dishwasher. He was cleaning the plates. This is cute. I'm glad you took him out. This cat's name is Bobby. He comes to the restaurant with his stuffed mouse and pretends to faint in order to beg handouts from the customers. If I was a cat, I'd be like Bobby. Post Malone left a $20,000 tip for Rennie Brown, a single mother working as a bartender on Christmas Eve. I crocheted the very hungry caterpillar and all the food it eats, if anyone cares. And yes, he can eat the food. Hear me out. You, me, and our cow out on a walk. Here is a basket full of baby otters, in case your life needed to see a basket full of baby otters. Scene. Have you ever sacrificed your sleep just to talk to someone? Yeah, where are they now? I married him. He's outside with our children. Wholesome. Therapist over the phone. How have you been coping? Me, quietly carving tiny swords to help the squirrels in their war against the birds. Oh, you know, just keeping busy. The masculine urge to be grateful for the things you have. They thought it was a camera. I would have thought that was a camera too. Looks like a camera. You're treating it like a camera. You probably told them to say cheese. New geep just dropped. Butterfly is a little miracle. Mama sheep and goat give birth to astonishingly rare baby geep. Every morning, this Japanese art teacher rakes the leaves in her schoolyard into beloved pop culture characters. Now you put some resin and you frame it. This would be a really cool art piece. He gets cold sometimes. This makes me want to get a snake. Someone at the Perfect Day Cat Cafe in Louisville, KY, filling out the paperwork to take this kitty home. The kitty's like, I've just found a lovely owner. My dad asked me to visit him because he dug out our old Xbox 360 and he wanted to play some Halo like we used to, almost 20 years ago. The best kind of unexpected visitor. Someone is at your front door. Why is he sitting around like that? Get a job, please. It breaks my heart that some kids will never get to experience how amazing these stores were. Blockbuster was so good. The smell in there was just so fresh. No thoughts, just a hamster chilling on a table with his foot up in the air while nibbling on a cucumber. A lioness helps tigress to raise cub. Took a selfie and noticed my husband in the background looking absolutely in love. Husband pays for adoption fees for 40 shelter dogs as a 40th birthday gift for his wife. 6 months ago, a puny cold baby on the brink of death was placed in my hand. I promised him I would try my best to save him, and if it wasn't meant to be, I would love him till the last moment. 6 months later, he is the absolute terror every kitten should get the chance to become. My cousin took the first picture of me, and then a Gen Z girl in a Prada jumpsuit got on the ground to get the second picture. My guardian angel. Had a bad day, so made a lute out of an acorn. When we lost power, we emptied translucent milk/water jugs to dramatically improve the light output from a flashlight. Works exceptionally well. Jim Cummings, the voice of Winnie the Pooh, often calls sick children in hospitals and talks to them in Pooh's voice. He once called a little girl in the hospital dying of cancer. The mother of the girl told him that was the first time her daughter had smiled in 6 months. That's what heroes do. My friend is crocheting Pokemon toys and leaving them at her local Pokestops for players to find. Man dumped by wife for being bold and dumpy becomes real life One Punch Man. Looks like David Goggins. Just became jacked. Making mistakes, learning, experiencing true growth and developing as a person. As I hoisted my own luggage into the trunk, my very Polish cab driver, impressed, shouted, "Strong girl, farm." And this is the only way I wish strange men again to speak to me moving forward. Escorted my sister to the family daughter dance this evening. Important announcement. There's a goose who raises her babies outside of a law school, and the students named her Ruth Bader Gooseberg. Made an unexpected friend while working Instacart today. Is this blank? Yes, who is this? This is Doris. You delivered my groceries today. I have never used the service before, and you were very kind. Would you like to play Words with Friends? Sure. Did she destroy you? I don't know. I've never played this game. Teaching my roommate's cat to be a landlord. He'll get it in no time. My brother proposed to his girlfriend. She's Chinese, so he learned to ask her in Mandarin. When she answered, he stared at her blankly. He forgot to learn the words yes or no. The beans are growing nicely this year. Oh, to be a little fairy napping on a lily pad and wearing a dress made out of flower petals. A cat with a bubble close to its face, making it look like an astronaut. My two favorite things about the cockchafer beetle. It's called a cockchafer beetle. It looks like this close up. I don't know why, but I'm kind of scared of what it looks like close up. Anyone else? It's cute, but like a scary cute. Only uses garage to help feral cats stay warm in the winter. You can watch them come and go on their live stream. My parents couldn't afford to buy me a fancy cake this year, so after a long day of work, my dad came home and made me one. I can't speak Spanish, but I will try. Adulthood sucks, but you can buy yourself an ice cream whenever you want. When Tupac was in jail, Jim Carrey used to write him funny letters in an attempt to cheer him up. Tupac was a huge fan of the comedian. Today, after almost 2 years of leaving a yam on the Walmart customer service desk nearly every week, I was approached by two managers who cornered me as I was heading to checkout. They looked at me in the eyes and whispered, "Why yams?" They've been breaking this investigation down day by day. The USDA is dropping fish meal coated oral rabies vaccines across the wilderness of eastern US with hopes of lowering disease rates among raccoons, foxes, coyotes, and skunks. Rabioli. Are you mad at me? This is me. You look tasty, but I'm not gonna taste you because that's mean. That time our neighbor's kitten rolled up onto our porch, jumped right into my lap and started staring at me lovingly. This is no cookie jar. This is my battle armor. You are my peach. You are my plum. Today, Papa John called my Starbucks and they were like, "Are you guys interested in a trade?" And 5 frappuccinos later, they gave us 2 large pizzas and a large order of cheesy bread. This seems adorable, like kids at lunch. This is what my coffee shop does with the Subway next door. Each large latte equals 1 6-inch sandwich. We trade at noon and 7 p.m. This is how the world should run. Well, this is how the world was running before currency was invented. Note written by me and slipped to Santa. My son, Jack, is 15 and has an intellectual disability. He wholeheartedly believes in Santa. Please keep the magic alive. Santa winked at me and greeted him like an old friend. Jack, it is great to see you again. Kindness matters. This is Max. After his owner, who suffers from dementia, accidentally wandered into the woods, he never left her side. Max stayed with her for 3 full days with no leash and barked to alert rescuers when they came nearby. Who's a good boy? Max is a good boy. I made an old lady blush today at work because she ordered 2 senior coffees and I said, "Senior, I'm sorry miss, I'm going to have to see some ID." And she covered her mouth and went, "Oh dear me." Couldn't stop smiling. You, my friend, are really a sweet person. Just a little reminder that Positive Potato believes in you. I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. Go do your thing. When you're finally old enough to buy your parents a Christmas gift. Surprise, mother and father. Is there an actual practical reason for this behavior? No, they just like being silly and goofy. Plays at this cat whose face has the AC logo on his precious snout to the game. He belonged to my friend and he recently crossed the Rainbow Bridge. I will happily pay for coffee and Timbits to any team members willing to pull an overtime to put him in there. And they listened. Kid at skate park as I arrive. You're a good skater? Sometimes. You ever been here? No. You travel a lot? Yes, perhaps too much. Are you a YouTuber? No, I'm just a skater and a dad. Want to see me do a jump? Absolutely. And then I shot this pic. Follow up. I asked him for his name and he said Irving. I told him my name is Tony, to which he replied sarcastically, like Tony Hawk, and then he left. And now he's freaking out reading this tweet. Got any fatherly advice for me? Once they hit adulthood, men rarely get positive reinforcement. So, if you see a random guy wearing a shirt that you like, tell him you like his shirt. If a friend is having a rough time, give him a hug. Those small moments of positive reinforcement will carry men great distances, and they will never forget them. Progress after 1 year, converting a water-dependent lawn to 70 species of mostly native plants. 2022, 2023. A few weeks ago, I ended a 7-year relationship with my ex-wife. She kept our dog and we agreed that on weekends I would keep him. This afternoon, I received her message. Your child child is ready, don't keep him waiting. We just left my family reunion, and my husband said in a chipper voice, I was really well behaved, so we're gonna go ahead and stop to get me a treat on the way home. Art Nouveau is when it looks like it was made by elves. Art Deco is when it looks like it was made by dwarves. And after looking into it, I think they're a genius and 100% correct. So this guy starts working at KFC, becomes the manager, he dips. He becomes a housekeeper, dips. Now he's a nursing assistant, he went to licensed practical nurse, and now he's a registered nurse. The transformation. Just woke up and realized love is all around me. Wild Coyote finds an old toy in the snow and acts like a puppy. I would really like to play a vampire hunting sewer nun and her pet alligator in a TTRPG. Oops! I just wish someone loved me as much as this cat loves strawberries. This is too cute. I'm not even gonna go over what the problem is in this meme. There is no problem. This is a cat. A very cute cat. Japan opens first capybara cafe, where for $8, guests can sip coffee and hang out with 2 local capybara residents. Suffering a creative block. I love Ursula's advice to Kiki. Stop trying. Take long walks. Look at scenery. Doze off at noon. Don't even think about flying. And then, pretty soon, you'll be flying again. Just dropped off 5 sleds to Beechwood Park's little free sled library. Sleds to borrow and return so all can enjoy sledding. Have fun. We need more people like you. Saw that my students submitted their assignment late at 2:48 a.m. So I didn't bother opening it and just gave them a 2020. I did this one time last semester and my professor emailed saying, please don't take my class this seriously. Always prioritize your rest and your well-being. I found the email. He said, Jasmine, please be gentle to yourself. I noticed you submitted this assignment quite late. Your rest and well-being should be your priority, not my class. I still reach out to him from time to time. Humble brag. 11 years ago, I had a window replaced and I told the contractor, hey, let me grab that hardware in case I need it. And I threw it into the junk drawer. My wife mocked me. Today, 11 years later, a contractor working in a different room said, man, I wish we could get that exact hardware to replace a busted piece. Hang on a second. Took me 11 years, but checkmate. I feel so vindicated. In 2014, 7th grader Shubhamham Banerjee created a braille printer out of Lego blocks. After learning that low-income families couldn't afford braille printers that cost upwards of $2,000, he built one himself from a Lego robotics kit. He released the instructions and software for free, bringing the cost for the parts down to $350. Lego's the future. My house is going to be made out of Lego. It's called chartisserie. Dave, chartisserie. Google it. It's a thing. Borzoi puppies look so much like normal dogs. I like to imagine someone getting a Borzoi puppy without knowing what an adult Borzoi looks like. And as their Borzoi matures, they'd just be like, what on earth is happening to my dog? The guy making 6 figures with a bachelor's degree thinks the plumber is dumb. The plumber charging the guy with the bachelor's degree $150 to change a wax ring thinks that guy is dumb. Both of them are educated in their own professions. Half of you guys are blindly telling kids to go to college, and the other half are blindly telling kids to go to a trade school. How about we tell them about all the options out there and tell them to find what they're good at? My friend teaches 1st grade, and every year she asks her students to draw a love monster, which she brings to life with felt and glue and shares in their Valentine's boxes. It makes me so happy, and I hope you all enjoy this year's collection of love monsters too. Teacher shares students' generous offer to give test points to classmate with lowest score. If you could, can you give my bonus point to whoever scores the lowest? Do you remember this Beanie Baby? Yes, that's Pinky. You loved that, then lost it in a grocery store. I looked all over and couldn't find it. I felt so bad for you. You loved that. Love you. Yup, that memory has stuck with me for a long time. It's a retired Beanie Baby, but I found it on eBay and bought it last week. My grandma is holding an iPhone class for her friends to help them learn how to use it. She is too pure for this world. Today, they learned how to set up group text messages, how to send photos, how to delete messages. Our next class is in July, and I asked them to send me questions that need answered. We have fun. Meet the velvet worm, possibly the cutest insect you've ever seen. I don't think the cutest insect, but definitely the cutest worm. What a human sees, what a dog sees. Gay dog pride flag. I went to the farmer's market yesterday, and at the honey guy's booth, there were all these bees just hanging out. Checking out the beeswax tabs, floating around the honey jars, not being aggressive, just really gentle and investigating or something. And as he was giving me a sample of the wildflower honey, one of them landed on his hand, and he just took a drop from the jar and dabbed it on his hand for the bee. And when I asked if they were his bees, he said, no, but they show up every time I come out. I think they just know my truck. And this guy is well known among the local bees and lets them sit on his hand and eat his honey. And I just really like the bee guy. What more of an endorsement could you hope for? You met a forest nymph. Once when I was a teenager, I was complaining to my mum about how this friend of my grandma's always wanted to have the same boring conversation. And she just said, just think about it like he's a dog wagging his tail. He has no idea how to actually connect with you, but he's communicating that he's friendly and warm. I've remembered that a lot in these types of situations. That's a lovely way to think of small talk. I will remember this in the future. Thank you for sharing. Designed with love. I'm sad that the other cat doesn't have a special bowl. Well, the other cat might have lore we don't know about. Maybe he hates having a cat bowl. My landlord. My landlord! Hi girls, hope you two are well. We want to reduce rent by $200 this month to help prep for the holidays. Spoil those extra babies. Buy a few extra sides for Thanksgiving, or just reduce some financial stress. We know it's not too much, but wanted to show some appreciation to the both of you. Blessings your way this holiday season. It gets better, guys. I promise. Ribbon seals are so beautiful. The best seal species by far. He looks like he's getting hugged by his star. Last night, the dog kept breaking into the nursery and waking the baby. She's been sick, and I was getting so fed up with him until she stopped breathing. We spent the night in the hospital. I don't know what would have happened if he hadn't woken her up. We don't deserve dogs. Imagine being able to make stone look soft. You can, it just takes a lot of practice. My sister's maternity pictures. I'm cracking up. A few people pointed out that they probably wouldn't understand what they were saying and just mimicking whatever sounds they happen to hear. So I just wanted to add this. I like how beavers always look like they're getting ready to share a really good joke. They're waiting for everyone to be quiet so they can tell the joke. Dad is locked in. Grandparents were right. Sitting in a chair doing nothing and staring at nature is incredible. My boyfriend is a Marine and isn't home to take me to my senior prom. So his little brother stepped in and took his place. Needless to say, this girl is so happy. I was having writer's block, and so I took a break, and soon enough it was 3 in the morning and I had impulsively sewn together a tiny mouse. You're welcome. For those of you who asked, they made a tutorial. This is cool. Writer's block turned into a very cool experience. So I did an egg hunt at my workplace this morning. I don't mean like I hit a couple dozen of eggs and people rolled their eyes like, hey, isn't this a bit childish? I mean, I got an entire staff of some 30 surgery, kennel, vet techs, and receptionists to go absolutely wild running around our facility, looking for 200 plus colorful plastic eggs full of chocolate and Sour Patch bunnies and one golden egg with $10 in it. Like one person riding on another person's shoulders to look on top of the high stacked kennels and using leashes as lassos. There was screaming and wild giggling, and I've never seen so many grown women grinning and running around like kids in my life, and it was the greatest. Apparently I'm now the morale officer of my workplace, but my boss, who somehow wound up covered in glitter at the end of the day, despite literally none of the eggs having glitter on them, knows me as the harbinger of chaos. That sounds fantastic. Hey Carl. Yes, Steve? I came to you with that request, that's okay. Of course, my friend. They're watching the stars, or is that a meteor? I hope it's not. I heard my toast spring up in the kitchen like 15 minutes ago, but I don't care. I just don't care. Screw that piece of toast and screw my life. If you've never been clinically depressed, this is the short version. But it does get better. I'm his mum. The one time I've seen a Queen's Guard crack. I think it's a Queen's Guard. Well, King now. Damn, I forgot. Oh god, am I gonna get killed for that? My grandmother had a crush on Keanu Reeves because he reminded her of my grandfather when he was young. Saw all his stuff, from Bill and Ted to The Matrix. She had a stroke in her early 70s and was pretty much housebound for the last 10 years of her life. So watching movies was her main hobby and became almost like friends to her because she so rarely got out to see any of her own. Not too long after The Matrix came out, my uncle was in LA for business and was eating at a really swanky restaurant when Keanu came in with a woman. When he finished his meal, my uncle came up to their table and said, I don't usually do this, but I just wanted to let you know that my 80-year-old mother loves you and has seen all of your movies. You remind her of my dad. He said Keanu asked if he had a cell phone on him, and when he confirmed that he did, he said, give her a call. I want to talk to her. He spoke with my grandmother for several minutes, and it absolutely made her year. She was so isolated, and his genuine kindness to her and interest in her showed what a truly amazing man he is. Thanks, man. I actually saw your post, and it was my main inspiration. Wait, are you for real? Yes. It was while I was looking up if you can shiny hunt Arceus and stumbled upon your post. I was like, nah, I gotta get like this guy and get mine. Just a wholesome Twitter interaction. Something you don't see very often.